Go.
So, Tessanne, how did you make it into this American competition?
Well, I was actually not convinced because he didn't have to convince me, but Shaggy was the one that suggested it, and he was like, "I think this would be a wonderful platform for you, and I think you're ready for this." And at first I was a little bit afraid because, of course, it's out of my comfort zone. It's nothing like what I've ever done before. So, but I really didn't have anything to lose, and I wanted to take my career to that next step. So, big ups to Shaggy.
For those who know you from your Jamaican performances, your recordings, know and have you as a big star, and they've said, why is it that Tessanne Chin is not a bona fide international star? Because her
Mhm.
talent supports that
Mhm.
profile.
Oh, thank you.
What are the difficulties
Well,
in doing that?
you know what? I firmly believe is, I hate to say it, but talent isn't enough. You have to be in the right place at the right time. Like the fates have to conspire in some weird way. But I do believe in hard work. And I do believe that no matter what happens, if you are willing to meet hard work with opportunity, then something must happen at some point. And like I said before, I'm a woman of faith, and I just had to kind of hold on to that in times because making it is relative. You know, I'm very proud of everything I've accomplished here and in the Caribbean, but to me, that's part of making it. It's not the full part of making it. Like I've always dreamed of having an international career with like Celine Dion and Beyonce. Those people are the people I look up to and adore. Tina Turner, Aretha Franklin. So who knows? Something close to something. Something close to so.
You mentioned Orville Burrell just now, Shaggy.
Mhm.
What's been his role in Project Tessanne, if I can frame it that way?
Well, Shaggy has always been one of those people that he's always been there at some point in my career, and um, he's one of the few artists I can say who has made it to that level that has come back to Jamaica and actively try to work with artists, the younger artists and the generation, and try to put back into the music, not just the community of Jamaica, because we all know that he's huge in that way with the Bustamante Children's Hospital and stuff, but in terms of being an artist and passing on knowledge and passing on, just wisdom and encouragement, like he has always been there. I mean, ever since we did the I Dare You song for the Bustamante and the song for Haiti, like we've just kept that connection, and he's always checked up on me and stuff. So he's like my real life mentor.
The distance from backstage to stage,
Yes.
it's not long, but in that moment that you knew that you were up, the judges were waiting, the studio audience was waiting, the TV audience was waiting, 14.7 million people.
Sweet
What
Jesus.
did you feel? Describe that emotion for us, or those
You
emotions.
know what's very funny? Every time I go on a stage, I get very, very nervous. And then right as I'm about to step out, there's like an almost eerie calm, like a silence. And I think that's why I get so nervous because it's part of me silencing myself and the voices in my head, and I take a moment to pray. And I always say this, like, because they say like you should always speak the outcome instead of speaking what you want to happen, speak
Yes.
as if it has already happened. And I always, always say, thank you, Lord, for an amazing show. And that's what I try to picture. I try to picture it being an amazing show and not try to focus on the fact that Christina Aguilera and Blake Shelton and CeeLo Green and Adam Levine are in front of me. So it was a very eerie but nervous but ready feeling.
Entertainers are have to be good salespeople because you're selling yourself to an audience, to people to buy your products. Adam Levine, he did something brilliant by saying, "Oh, I love reggae music," professing that very early days to curry favor with you. Why Adam though? Four big personalities, superstars in front of you. You chose Adam.
I chose Adam because he's a musical chameleon and he can cross genres very easily between pop, rock, soul, dance. And you can hear those different genres inflected in the music
So it was
that
the versatility.
definitely. But I'm not gonna lie, Christina. I mean, you can't see all that went on. They can't edit all of that into the time that they have. But she gave me a hard time because she was preaching. to me, you know, and I love Christina Aguilera. Like, when you talk about one of the voices of our generation, she's definitely there, you know. So I have nothing but mad respect for all the coaches up there, but I just felt for me, Adam.
Shaggy spoke about you and your preference for rock early doors in your career. What kind of, well, was that a transitional phase? Was that something you were flirting with the intention to move on, or did you see yourself at that time as a rocker, and that's how you build your career?
You know, it is, I'm a lover of music, and I hate to be put in a box. So I hate when somebody says, "Oh, you should just do this, you should just do that." And I think when I moved to England when I was early in my early teens, I'd only ever been exposed to, of course, Jamaican music and, you know, the pop music that we're getting from America on the radio and whatever. But I never really been exposed to like rock. I mean, my brothers played me the Cranberries and Oasis and stuff like that, but I went to England and I heard Skunk and Nancy and System of a Down and Papa Roach and Limp Bizkit, and I just fell in love with it because to me, at the time, it was a movement as well. It stood for something more than just surface. This was, you know, and I think that's why people connect with reggae music as well, because it was the stories, it was a message, it was a meaning behind the music that attracted me to it, as well as the power. So I will always be a rocker at heart, no matter what music I'm doing, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go out there and be a rock artist either.
Rock music, dark side. Ozzy Osbourne biting the head off a bat, all of that.
That's one side of it.
One side.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a dark side, a dark element to Tessanne Chin?
Definitely. I'm not, I mean, I don't, how do I put this? I'm definitely a child of, I'm a godly woman, but I think that from my dark moments, beauty blooms. Mm-hmm. And I think that's, for me, when I'm writing and stuff, it always happens to be when I'm going through something difficult or something challenging. And I think that's maybe my reward for going through, is that I'm able to write better, in my opinion, when going through stuff like that. But there's definitely, I think, a dark side to everybody. But you know that story of the wolves, whichever one you feed becomes the strongest. I choose to feed the light.
Mm-hmm. In a word, your personality can be described as gregarious.
Gregarious.
Yes, you're outgoing, fun-loving. But is there confident, supremely so? Is there any shyness to in Tessanne?
Most definitely, and that's why I think people mistake my shyness sometimes for divadom, you know, or for me being, and it's not that at all. Like, I'm the kind of person, you put me in a room with people I've never met or just whatever, and I'm going to be the one sitting back and observing. I'm not going to be talking and whatever. It takes a while for me to warm up, and I think that's why it's so strange, because on stage it's not like that at all. That's my home, you know, but off stage I'm very much a very reserved, quiet person.
What, you know, people already are talking about winning. And
no.
You know, Jamaican fans, we overdo everything, and when we have someone we're rooting for, ooh, nobody's better than them, and in Jamaicans' eyes, nobody's better than Tessanne. Tessanne is going to win the whole shebang. Are you visualizing winning, or are you just visualizing competing and giving your optimum each time?
It'd be lying if I said I didn't visualize winning, because we're all in it to accomplish something. And I think just being on the show is a wonderful achievement and an accomplishment, but I would love the opportunity to go all the way. But it all depends on if we can, you know, work with the fans we have and gain some new ones too. Mm-hmm. So, but I am just, when I tell you that, I'm just overwhelmed and I keep saying floored, but that's the only word I can really use to describe how I feel when that night happened, and the outpouring of love and encouragement and support. Like, I literally, it left me breathless. I never thought in a million years at that. I thought, okay, well, people be nice, you know, great. I never in a million years thought that people would be so forthcoming with their support, and I'm so grateful for that, you know.
The woman you are today, the performer, the artist that you are, roll a 3 into 1 and tell me, who are those persons who influenced you the most?
My mom. Definitely. I love my mommy. I still need her. I still count on her for advice a lot. My sisters. I have 2 sisters, not just one. But y'all know Tammy,
Yes.
but I have a big sister, Terry, as well. And my dad. And of course, I think for me, it starts at home first. And then I look at other people like Celine Dion and how she's able to conduct her career and herself, and the same thing with Beyonce and Tina Turner. I mean, those are my ultimate people, you know, and just I draw inspiration from people on a daily basis. You know, they may not have a name or whatever, but it may just be somebody I've met in passing that I draw inspiration from.
Dennis Brown has
Yes.
a song saying it was ordained, well, quoting the Bible, it was ordained for man to leave his mother and cling to the woman he loves. Let's switch the gender around. It was ordained for woman to leave father and mother and cling to the man that they love. Your hobby, what's been his role?
It's been a huge role. I mean, I say this all the time and I don't take it lightly. It takes a very strong man to allow his woman to shine. You know, not many men can deal with that because he shares me.
Yes.
You know, he shares me with people. We go out to dinner and people want to take a picture, or we go to on a holiday or something and people, but he's very good at dealing with that because he knows my vision and he knows my dreams, and he's been there when it's working, he's been there when it's not been working. And I have a lot of respect for him, you know, and very blessed to call him mine. Don't make me all blushy, no star.
There you go, there you go. But you know, finally, on a personal note, and I ask this question in this context, increasingly cyberbullying is a major issue because you have people mocking people about appearance, about weight, about all of those issues. For yourself, have you ever had any of those growing up issues, as the growing pains that you fought hard to deal with, to get over, to conquer?
In my life or
Yes.
on the internet?
In your
life.
Okay. In your life. Before, I'm just transposing the issues
Of
that
course.
you battled with. People now have to deal with people attacking them on
Yes.
the internet about it.
And it's a very, you know, it's very unfair because anybody can hide behind a screen.
Yes.
And say what they want. You know what I mean? But I worry for our kids because the more I read on the news, because I read the Daily Mail as well, and you know, children committing suicide because that level of bullying and harassment we will never understand.
Especially
because
for weight,
yeah, it's let me tell you something. First of all, there's a lot of pressure on our young women and men, I might add, because people just tend to think it's something to do with girls, and it's not. It's for our young men as well. The images that are put across the screen and in the magazine pages and in the papers every day are that of people who have committed themselves to that lifestyle, and with the help of a lot of computer, you know, graphics and whatever. And for me personally, I grew up feeling inadequate or feeling self-conscious because I've always been around girl. I always did fluffy. And I had to come to the point where it had to be for me about, if I wanted to do something, it had to be because I wanted to do it and not because people were telling me. And for me, it's all about health now. You know, I am curvy and I may have a little extra here or extra there, but at the end of the day, if I'm healthy, if I'm working out, if I'm feeding myself right, everything else will fall into place. And I have a wonderful husband who is very reassuring and, you know, very, very full of compliments. And I mean, I look at my husband, he's a testament to working out and being fit because he can't wash clothes on his belly. Yeah. So I am very proud of him too. He's a big inspiration to keep up a healthy lifestyle and just to make it about health, you know, not about, don't judge someone's character by their appearance.
Tessanne Chin, good job.
Thank you very much.